Hey, what's up you guys? I got another Pokemon battle for you here today, and we got 3 Pokemon making their debut. We got the Tyrantrum, Vileplume, and Rotom from my last couple of battles, if I posted them. I used them before. And then I got the Nidoqueen and Toxicroaker, the 2 newer Pokemon that I just finished EV training. And then I have the Mantine, which I always had for a while, just didn't have on any of my teams yet. So this is the squad we're rolling with. My opponent's team, they look pretty good. They got some pretty decent Pokemon there. They got some cool Pokemon. So let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. So I didn't know who they wanted to lead off with, but it didn't really matter because I was going to lead off with my Nidoqueen no matter what, just so I can set up the Stealth Rocks. I had the option to send out the Rotom with the Volt Switch, but I thought the Stealth Rocks were more important. But my opponent here is going to lead off with the Scolipede, which is an interesting pick, but usually when they do that, it's because they want to do some Baton Pass shenanigans. So my opponent is going to get that Protect up, so I'm assuming it is going to be a Speed Boost set, that they're probably going to want a Baton Pass. But in the battle, I actually forgot that Scolipede has Baton Pass, but that's right. We get the Stealth Rocks up for free, basically, and they get the little Speed Boost going. I don't know what else this Scolipede's got, but I'm assuming they're going to set up something else. And they are. They're going to set up the Iron Defense there, which is okay because we are a special attacker, and Nidoqueen does not care about none of that. So we're just going to hit the Scolipede with an Earth Power, and that does pretty good damage. One more of those is going to knock out the Scolipede if it stays in. But this Scolipede does not want to stick around too much longer because it's going to get knocked out in one more shot. So they are going to Baton Pass those 2 Speed Boosts and that 1 Iron Defense up. And they're actually going to send in the Metagross in next. So this Metagross is going to get hit by Nidoqueen's Earth Power. And with the Stealth Rocks, this almost takes out the Metagross. This is a Sheer Force Nidoqueen with Life Orb, so it's a pretty sweaty set. But it's new Nidoqueen, you don't see Nidoqueen a lot, so it's fun to use. My opponent here is going to go for the Earthquake, and Nidoqueen lives this pretty well, actually. This is what I changed. Before it was a speedy Nidoqueen that I was using, but now it's a max HP, max special attack, so it could take hits pretty well. And it's going to take out that Metagross with 1 more Earth Power, so that Baton Pass setup at the beginning is gone. We don't have to worry about that anymore unless that Scolipede comes back in and starts setting up again. My opponent's next Pokemon is going to be the Barraskewda, which I assume is just going to outspeed me, or go for the Aqua Jet, but I feel like Nidoqueen is still very useful, so I am going to assume they're going to go for the Water move, and I'm going to send out my Mantine, which has the Water Absorb ability, which allows my Mantine to absorb that Flip Turn right there. So not only do we absorb the Flip Turn, but he doesn't switch out, so if he wants to switch out, it's going to have to be a hard switch, which is great. After seeing my opponent want to switch out with the Flip Turn, I'm going to assume they're going to hard switch here, so I'm going to guess and go for the Ice Beam, just because it looked like a lot of Pokemon on the team didn't want to take an Ice Beam. I'm going to get lucky here. He actually does go for the Dragapult, and it's going to take this Ice Beam right to the face. This Mantine has no special attack investment, but this Ice Beam is going to be a 2-hit KO. That does really good damage there. But now the question is, does this Dragapult carry Thunderbolt? Because if it does, that's definitely going to take out my Mantine in one shot. And Mantine's looking really useful, so we're actually going to switch out here, just in case he does decide to go for a Thunderbolt, and we're going to swap into Nidoqueen. But he doesn't go for the Thunderbolt. My opponent actually goes for the U-turn here, and Nidoqueen's actually going to live that U-turn because she is so thick. But this is going to let him get whatever matchup he wants, and he decides to send out the Galarian Moltres. With this Moltres, I'm just going to stay in here. If they take out my Nidoqueen, that's fine, I can get the free switch in. But I'm just going to click Ice Beam and see what they go for. They actually go for the Nasty Plot here, so I don't know if they thought I was going to switch out or they could live a hit. But this Ice Beam is going to take out the Galarian Moltres here in one shot, which is great, thanks to those Stealth Rocks probably. Those Stealth Rocks help out with a little bit of damage, but that's a great threat averted. Nidoqueen has taken out Pokemon left and right in her debut. Great to see. But now my opponent is going to send out the Dragapult again. I just decided to go for the same strategy I had before. We're going to leave Nidoqueen in here. If he overpredicts or doesn't take me out, well then I can hit him with an Ice Beam. If he does take me out, we get the free switch. But he does go for the Draco Meteor here, and that's going to take out the Nidoqueen, which is sad. She was putting in a lot of work. It was great having her out there, but her day is done. So on the free switch in, I'm going to send out my Rotom Mo, just so we have the Volt Switch pivot ability. But he does have -2 special attack here, and I think he's Choice. Usually when the Dragapult carries U-turn, it's because they're Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. So I know I could live 1 Draco Meteor and then hit something hard. So he does go for the Draco Meteor again. This is going to do just over half health, and that allows my Rotom to get off the Shadow Ball. And a Choice Specs Shadow Ball from a Rotom mode is going to be enough to take out the Dragapult. So that's 2 pseudo-legendaries down and 1 actual legendary down. All we got left is the Barraskewda, the Salandit or Salazzle and the Scoliope, which is actually what he's going to switch in right now. He's going to take some Stealth Rock damage, but it's going to live. I assume he's going to go for the Baton Pass stuff again, which is kind of scary, but not too scary. I think we can work around it. To work around this strategy, we're going to send out the Mantine. I know he's going to go for the Protect to get the speed boost, so I get a free switch in here. And I know Mantine's got good matchups against all three of the remaining Pokemon, even though it doesn't have a lot of special attack investment. With my opponent here, it's going to go for the Toxic, which kind of sucks. Mantine doesn't really like being poisoned. I mean, nobody likes being poisoned, but especially Mantine. So that kind of sucks. But now we know that its Scolipede has no attacking moves, which is great. It only has the poison. So it's going to try to Toxic Stall me here for a bit. That's okay, because I can recover off a lot of the health that Mantine is going to be taking. Even though Mantine is getting kind of Toxic Stalled here, but that's okay. I have other threats in the back that can take out the other Pokemon, but I see no point in switching out. I'm just going to keep going for the Air Slash, waiting for him to Baton Pass out, which eventually he is going to do. So I cut out some of the Speed Boost animations and the leftover animations just so we can finally get to the Baton Pass, because that was getting kind of stally there. He's going to switch out, and next he's going to switch in the Barraskewda. After the Stealth Rock damage, and after this Air Slash from the Mantine, one more Air Slash is going to be enough to take out the Barraskewda. The poison damage is starting to rack up a little bit, but I think that's okay. Mantine's still in a pretty good spot. We know that we can absorb his water moves, so he's going to have like close combat probably in Crunch, and I know that Mantine can take one more of those. Just in case he does have the Thunder Fang, I don't even know if Barraskewda can get Thunder Fang, but if he does, I'm going to switch out, send out the Vileplume here to take a hit, because this is my physical defensive wall. And actually he goes for the Psychic Fangs, which is going to absolutely obliterate Vileplume, which sucks because he does have, even if he didn't have the speed boost, he doesn't speed, but he does have the speed boost, so one more Psychic Fang is going to take out the Vileplume, and I don't feel like switching anything else in, so Vileplume didn't really get to do anything. That's okay. We did get to see that this Barraskewda has Psychic Fangs, along with the Flip Turn. On the free switch, I'm going to send out the Tyrantrum, because I do have Thunder Fang on Tyrantrum, and it has a Focus Sash, so I can take one hit, and hopefully one super effective Thunder Fang is going to be enough to take out the Barraskewda in one more shot. But then my opponent decides to Dynamax, and this is like the definition of a Desperation Dynamax, but even though this Barraskewda has double the health now, I'm pretty sure I can still take it out with one more Thunder Fang, just because these are pretty frail. They don't have a lot of defense stats, so here comes the Max Knuckle actually, which I'm guessing comes from the close combat, and it's not even actually going to get me down to my sash there, which is kind of surprising. Either way, we're going to bite this fish in its giant face with teeth full of lightning, and it is going to be enough to take out the Barraskewda there. And that's going to be pretty much game. All he has left is the Salazzle, which is going to take out damage with the Stealth Rocks, and the Scolipede, which actually is going to send in right here, and the Scolipede on switching is just going to die to the Stealth Rock. So that's good. Now he doesn't set up on his last Pokemon, and that last Pokemon, like I said, is going to be Salazzle, which is going to swap in right here. I'm pretty sure this Salazzle outspeeds my Tyrantrum. I don't really care though. If he takes me out, I'll just swap out. He ends up going for the Venoshock, and Tyrantrum actually lives the Venoshock on the little HP he has left. This has no health investment or defense investment, so I was surprised by that. We go for the Dragon Claw, and that takes out the Salazzle, and that is going to be the match there. So that match was a little one-sided, but I thought I'd post it anyway just because I don't see a lot of Scolipede setup Pokemon like that often, and I thought I'd post it just so you guys could see it in case you run into one so you're not surprised by it. But there we had a lot of predictions that really worked out for us in our favor, which really won me the match there. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.